All right. Hello. Good afternoon. Oh, I forgot to add my new long to the position disclosure. I'll do it when I talk about it. Ha, I mean, all good. I didn't know I had earnings either, and I definitely should have because I'm in a related name, a very related name. I am an associate member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker dealer and member of FINRA. All of my trades are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. This is the accurate position disclosure, except I did add a new long today, and I did not put that new long in, so I will do it right now. Tiger, Tigr on the upgrade. Decent looking chart. Hope my sound on the YouTube works. Thank you, TT. All right. Is that ENPH down now? All over the place, bouncing back a little bit off the low. TXN is down. That's on earnings. Let me look at this Texas Instrument report. TXN, they beat on EPS, they beat on revenue, they beat on analog revenue, whatever that means. Operating profits beat. CapEx is more than expected. Guidance, here we go. Um, Guidance seems okay, like in line on the range, kind of, for revenue and for EPS, more or less. I don't see the problem in that TXN earnings report, but it's down 7.5% on it. Pretty inline-ish looking report. A little bit of a beat on those top line numbers. Is this just a case of, hey, the stock just went from 140 to 220 in 3 months, and there we need to sell it down on a report that's not knock your socks off? And if so, does that mean that there's potentially more to come this earnings season? Is this a normal thing? I think it's way too early to tell. I think it's way too early to tell. So we will wait and watch and see. Hold on, I gotta fix something on one of my positions here real quick. All right, all right, I'm good. Um, okay, so did the spy close flat? Am I reading this right? Did we close at zero? Small green, like up 10 cents on the day. Oh man, the bid is never gonna stop, is it? The bid is never gonna stop. Someone take me to the insane asylum because the bid is never gonna stop. Because we can't close anywhere but flat. Did anyone see any of this today? Anyone see any of these stocks moving today? I mean, some of these stocks, like, things were getting destroyed. Things were squeezing through the roof. Things were all over the place. The Qs were getting killed, but the RSP was up huge. And now I'm typing up the spies to do the end of the day summary. And I had no idea, honestly, until right now, that we basically closed at exactly flat. And again, it just means it can't handle the excitement. It just means that the market is never ever going to be able to go down ever because the status quo will be the status quo until we can get something that picks up realized vol. And and that's where we're at. I mean, holy cow. I can't believe I'm looking at these spies flat. All right, spies flat. Qs are down 0.6, IWM is up 0.9, RSP RSP is up 1.3. Look at that spread. RSP up 1.3, QQQ down 0.64. I said it in the morning meeting or at some point during the day today. We are flipping back and forth seemingly every single day between the IWM is strong and the Qs are weak, and the Qs are weak and the IWM is strong. Seems like we're flipping back and forth almost every day on that. Today it was that heavy sell off in these Nasdaq. Today felt very unique compared to most trading sessions that I've ever traded. You happy with that one, Bill K? I didn't say it was crazy. I said it was unique. Um, one of the most unique circumstances. It just felt like there was a massive liquidation that was ongoing today. Um, just a massive liquidation where anything that's heavily shorted, those shorts were liquidating, and anything that's heavily owned, those longs were liquidating, and you were seeing Nvidia just get completely destroyed, while you're seeing anything that's got a short float, GoPro, Krispy Kreme, whatever. I started to write down a list of them, which I haven't. Anyone who traded with me at the end of 2020, early 2021, remember we had a list. We had a list of the crazy stocks, and we would like post the list every morning and be like, "These are the crazy stocks. This is what's been going insane. Like this is like a watch list of just the craziest names that's out there, so we can continue to monitor how they trade for opportunities." Well, for the first time, even though we've had little periods of time over the course of the last 4 years where the market would go crazy and you'd see short squeezes. This is the first time that it's gotten so crazy that I started to put together a list today, which we can go through those names in a minute. But again, RSP spread to the Qs just massive. RSP up 1.3, Qs down 0.65, just seeming like a massive liquidation today. TLT was up, so interest rate fears are being put to the side, but that could be a fear trade in and of itself. Gold breaking out, gold breaking out, also squeezing. Bitcoin was strong again today, not new highs, but Bitcoin strong again today, and oil finished down a little bit. That's kind of the quick summary there. But yeah, I mean, I'm just blown to see that this market's trading at exactly flat right now. I really can't believe it. Um, but we had a vicious opening sell-off that you can see in the SPYs, but you can especially see it in the Qs. The Qs got rocked in the beginning of the day. Nvidia, oh, look at this move in Nvidia. Nvidia opens up basically flat around 171.50 and trades in 25 minutes to 164.50. Massive, massive downside sell. And they were selling Palantir. And at a certain point, they started selling Tesla. Tesla tried to hold in for a little while at first. And even look at Apple. They did not sell because it's under owned compared to the other ones. Microsoft sold in the beginning of the day and grinded down all day. In some ways, that makes that almost even worse than a Nvidia that had more initial downside momentum, but then bounced and kind of went sideways for the rest of the day. Microsoft got pulverized, but that 505.50 in Microsoft is the level that we discussed in the morning meeting. It closed at it, so it still hasn't even broken it. What did AMD do? Yeah, AMD, another one, just ruthless, ruthless sell in the beginning. SMH, ruthless, ruthless sell in the beginning of the day today. Um, so, a like bigger companies, the big leaders, the AI leaders just were annihilated in the beginning of the day. At the same time as that, if you looked at the IWM, the IWM sold briefly, but this was nothing compared to what the Qs were doing. And if you look at the top names in the Russell today, they were just some of the biggest squeezers that were out there. I mean, they were just short squeezing the absolute hell out of things. Let me see if I can pull up my list that I started to make on on my other screen here. Where is it? Is it this one? Uh, yeah, okay. Let's take a look at the daily charts. Some of these names are starting to see go. GoPro, GoPro, up 43% on the day today. GoPro, Nut, Krispy Kreme, up 47. They're running it after hours. If you include the after hours price action, up 47% on the day. Woof, woof. Not running after hours, up 28% on the day. Sava, SAVA, only up 12%, a real underperformer. Solar Edge, one that I'm unfortunately getting squeezed in a little bit, but this ENPH earnings report now seems like it's negatively impacting it. This thing's down 80 cents after hours, and it's still up 8% on the day. Solar Edge. Children's Place. Oh, and how could I forget about KSS? Children's Place ended up 33% on the day. KSS is where things really started today. And this was one of my better trades. Not, and I didn't even do it with a ton of size, but pre-market shorted KSS right as I finished the morning meeting, but right before the market opened, shorted KSS around 20 in the 19s, I guess. And I had bought that Oscar at a really good price this morning. I bought Oscar at 1250 something pre-market. That turned into being a really good trade as well. I didn't keep either of them. But KSS, they did sell it down. So this one didn't close on highs, might not be the best candidate for the list. But KSS only up 37% on the day. Here's another one, different but same, Neo. Neo is considered to be, from my understanding, the worst of the Chinese car stocks. Worse than XPEV, worse than LI, much worse than BYD, which obviously BYD is not exchange listed for us. But look at this, Neo's on a day 4 to the upside and closed up 10% on the day. FFAI, FFAI making my list up 45% on the day. Flowers, 1-800 Flowers. Why not? It's got a big short float. It's up 30% on the day. Most of these, by the way, are day ones. FTRE, Iova, DNA. DNA is a big day two here. I haven't seen this name pop up on my radar in a long time, up 20%. And then into the end of the day, we had one pop up on the radar that I have not seen. I forgot this company even existed. An old Kathy Wood name, Skills, up 14%, kind of breaking out on the daily chart. This one actually looks pretty good still. I would not short that. There's some others that did fade a little bit, like you had a BYON that was on day 3 today that faded. QS gave a fade, but then still managed to finish up 10% on the day. JOBY faded to the ADMA on the daily chart, but tailed right back off of it. Open, which was yesterday's crazy name, they forgot about it today. I wrote down GLXY for some reason. I don't know why. GLXY is another one that I guess they faded yesterday. So handful of these got faded yesterday. A bunch of these at this point are really just day ones. So I want to have this list. There it goes. I want to have this list available to me because I really want to see these as they get into their day twos and day threes, which some of them are starting to do that. Some of them just had their day ones today. But at a certain point, I mean, at this point, I've done very well with QS short, even though it bounced back nicely today. I've done pretty well with JOBY short into that ADMA on the daily, which is what I was looking for on my bigger size. Even though honestly, I want more than that. It's hard to get more than that when they're squeezing the hell out of every single short name today. So these names are all highly tradable. So what does this mean for the indexes? That big sell off that we had today in the market brought us 10 cents below the ADMA on the daily chart in the SPYs. The Qs with their massive sell off in Nvidia today, semiconductors getting destroyed. The Qs here are just into their ADMA on the daily chart and still technically fully intact. We have not broken any levels. Yet today's price action was very unique. It was very different. I've almost never seen anything like it. It just really just looked like just a gross market exposure squeeze where it was like, all right, time to just liquidate everything. Like, I'm done in the business. Some big fund, maybe, I don't know, was like, I'm done in the business. It's a wrap for me. Uh, it's all over. The fat lady has sung, and I need to liquidate all of my positions on both sides of the market. That's what it looked like. Like this, and it's crazy. It seemed like a massive. There I go. I said it. It's crazy. It seemed like a massive liquidation day today. Yet the SPY finished exactly flat. What does that mean for us on the index level? For the moment, it means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. The spies look the same as they did. The Qs look pretty much the same as they did. The IWM looks good, looks better than it did yesterday, to be honest. So for the moment, from the index level, it means absolutely nothing. But these types of events, as they're occurring, or seeing, GoPro and Krispy Kreme and all these companies just completely go through the roof, I'm just logging it into the back of my brain. This is unusual trading activity within the confines of us still having this large systematic bid on a 0% realized vol, which is what we closed at. Vol Control was supposed to buy $13 billion of SPX today. And I think the next 2 or 3 trading sessions we're rolling off like other 2% days. So I remember at one point asking if to take a look at that chart again on the expected, the modeled vol control buying or selling for the day. And you had to get out to, was a percent and a half down, I think it was, in order to lose the vol control bid on the day. But otherwise, they're buying the whole way. So we're just not quite at the point yet where it seems like we can break this market because you still have that systematic bid. But I wonder if we can get through these next few days where you get through the 2% days, if then you could hit the point where price action could overwhelm it. I want to say yes. I want to say we're getting to the point where you can overwhelm the vol control bid, but who knows, right? Let the market tell you. Let the market show you when the trend is breaking, because this trend is just fully intact. And I really don't have anything else to say about it. Like it was such a unique trading session, with the way that on the one hand things were just absolutely selling down and other things were selling up in such a crazy way. Yet the index level giving us nothing new. All I can say is file it away in the back of your brain. It could mean something. It could be a signal that we're near a turning point, but let the market show it to you. The spies almost look a little bit like what we just had back here on the 15th and 16th. We had that upside pivot followed by a downside pivot. Yesterday's an upside pivot. Today we kind of had a downside pivot into the ADMA on the daily chart. The Qs look a little bit not as good, with the week close today into 560. 560 is like a little bit of a breakout level for the Qs. It's really probably more like 557 though. Let's just quote the area between 557 and 560. So if the Qs can really, follow through tomorrow, on the weakness that they gave today, maybe with this TXN earnings helping to make semiconductors a little bit weaker tomorrow, and you can lose that, 557. That would be a starting point. But really, the market needs to get below July 16th's low to go from bullish to neutral, in my opinion. Not bullish to bearish. Bearish only happens below June 24th's low. Oh, and by the way, for anyone that was listening to yesterday's afternoon meeting, we had an update on the CTA sell trigger this morning. Yesterday I was quoting it at 603. Now it's like 6086 or something. 608, 609. Six, wait, what was the price? 608, 6086 was it, I think? I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Let me look it up real quick. I don't want to give misinformation. Pull it up on Pat's note. 6086. Yeah, 6086. 6086. So that's um roughly a little bit above the low from June 25th. So mark that with an alert. I think it's a great thing to just have a continuously updating alert for that first CTA sell trigger. Um That's all I got. I really don't have anything else to talk about. I mean, today was just a mind blowing trading session. I need to go get some exercise. I've been under the weather. Today's the first day that I've kind of been feeling better. I've been a little bit under the weather since like Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and I'm finally feeling a bit better. And today was so crazy. I want to get a workout in. Can you repeat the cat's Dell trigger sentence? The CTA cell trigger sentence? Yes, 6086 is the spot. So basically near the low of June 25th. And that is near the fail of a massive breakout. No problem, Varun. Palantir broke 150 day, which is a key level. Yeah, it did, but the downside tail in Palantir looks the chart looks fine still. Think pulled back into its equilibrium zone and pivoted right back up. I can say that I think that today's low in Palantir combined with the low from July 14th are now really important for going forward. So let's call it the space between 145 and 142 quarter. If you can get below 145 to 142 quarter for Palantir, I think the picture changes. But for now, this is just the stock had gotten a little bit ahead of itself, above 150 into 155, a little bit extended up there. Now it's given a technical pullback into the 21 EMA and created a downside tail that becomes a potential pivot low. If anything, Palantir bulls can look to go long versus today's low. But if today's low breaks and if that 142 quarter breaks, all of a sudden Palantir could look like a little bit of a different picture. But you almost think that that's impossible to happen unless we start to lose some levels at the index level. So thank you, Sherry, in the YouTube. Um, from Bill K. Eventually, the vol windows will get so low that it won't take a very large return to bring the average up and trigger vol target selling. It will get talked about more and more, I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. That's just educated sentence there from Bill. Um, that's what things look like when you get to everybody being in the pool. That's what things looked like back in February. Back in February, there was just no one really left to buy from any of these cohorts, right? It was like the CTA trend followers were, not buyers in an up market, not buyers in a flat market, not necessarily sellers in those markets either, just like not supportive, but big sellers into a down market. And then eventually, when it comes to vol control, they will hit a point when they don't have anything left to buy either. If you get 0% every single day, then eventually they would be at 100% long, and even a slight uptick in realized vol would trigger some selling from them. But yeah, we're not at that point yet, and some of the data that I've read says that we might not be at that point until mid-August. But we're getting closer. That's why I feel like the risks are more balanced here. Um, if you can get a trigger that can sell us down, then it can feed on itself. But without that trigger, we're just in this uptrend, and every day you're getting more buying from these cohorts because there's no realized volatility and the trend is staying intact. But so I feel like it's more balanced now, not where it was last February, where it was totally set up for a sell. So, without a catalyst, you could continue to grind higher for another month. With a catalyst, if something can break us down, whether it's technical or news or whatever, then yeah, we could feed into it. But that is yet to be seen. This market is so resilient into any of those downside blips that we have. But I promise that someday you will see systematic selling happen. I just can't promise you when that trigger is going to occur, if it can occur closer to now via signal or in like an event, or if we have to wait till literally everybody's in the pool, which could be a month away and could have you looking at I don't know, SPX 6500, 6550, not impossible with the upside grind. But I would still file today's price action into the back of my head because it was certainly unique. Pat posted this earlier today, which feels far away from price and time. Palantir bearish action. It's not opening though. December 19th, I presume for 2025, $100 puts, $711,000 worth of them went off. So I find that those are much more actionable when they're opening and have a bigger impact on the market as opposed to just an older hedge or something like that that might just be being rolled onto a future date that's pushed out pretty far. But it is, pretty far out there in terms of price and time. I don't completely ignore the ones that aren't opening, but they're they kind of go through my brain pretty quickly. Cool. Back over into the YouTube. Yeah, the hood short, given further follow through, broke through that $100 today. The 21 EMA is at 95, but if I was short this thing, my target would basically be 97.50. That's what my target would be on it. Could it return to 65 to 70? Yes, it can, but you need the market to fail, right? So there's a difference between. So I like to pick like I think that this is a sound philosophy that I try to engage in with my own trading. I don't pick spots for reversals. I pick spots for retracements, and then I have a game plan that allows me to profit in case that retracement becomes a reversal. We called out a Robinhood short on the 18th, and then we called it out again yesterday. If I took that short, I liked it, but I didn't take it. I had too much on my plate. My targets would be as follows. I'd be looking for a retracement. So it's had a huge up move. I'd be looking for a retracement lower. Retracement to where? Target one would be the 8 EMA. Target two would probably be like the midpoint between the 8 and 21 EMA, which also corresponds with like that 97, 97.50 support level I just spoke about. Reach target would be 95. I would also note the support that's here at 90. And that would be it. And then what I would do is, if I really believed in it and the market was starting to fail or whatever, I would look to keep a smaller percentage of my position. How small? Anywhere from 5 to 25% of my position, in case the retracement becomes a reversal, right? Then all of a sudden you got a different trade. Right now, if you're short hood, it is a counter trend trade. It's counter trend, it's counter momentum. The market was going up and you're short. It's counter trend, it's counter momentum. But if the stock is ever going to see 65 to 70, it's going to have a reversal. So initially, if I am going counter trend, what's the rule on most counter trend trades? Most counter trend trades fail. Most of the time, if you're doing something counter trend, eventually you're going to get stopped out. It's why you want to book a lot of profit quickly into appropriate retracement targets. And then the most likely thing that's going to happen is this thing will create a pivot low somewhere and will eventually make a new high. That's the most likely thing that will happen. But if you lose the market, if the market fails, then this retracement lower maybe gives a lower high and a lower low, and then it eventually gives a full on reversal. And then if you have a reversal, you're no longer in a counter trend trade. You're in a with trend trade. And with trend trades can last for much longer than most people expect. And on a with trend trade, you could have some heavy, deep targets on those. Would you say 65 to 70? Sure, why not? Why not the 200 day? 200 day is down to 50. That's not impossible. So that's kind of how I think about those counter trend shorts. On hood short, what time frame are you looking at to enter? So everything I do is big picture down to small picture. So I'm always starting with the daily chart, and then I might try to execute based on a 5 or 15-minute chart. So the stock was in an uptrend. It broke out of that uptrend to the upside. So basically started to go parabolic, huge 3-day move with this doji. So yesterday we said you could look to be short basically versus yesterday's high, or potentially something tighter if you could find something tighter on the small time frame. So that's where the idea itself comes from. And then again, maybe you can find something on the smaller time frame if you didn't want to be risking it all the way up to 113.40 on the trade, which is pretty much the all-time high for the stock. From Cyril, what will be the confirmation of systematic selling? Will be volume. Confirmation of systematic selling is when the models that we look at tell us that there was selling. It's not like technical analysis in the same way where you're looking for confirmation through things like volume. It doesn't necessarily have to be more volume on the way down than there was volume on the way up for systematic buying or selling. It's just at what point do the signals that they use to buy become signals that they use to sell, right? And those main signals that they use for two of the biggest cohorts are trend and volatility. So as far as trend goes, we already know because Goldman modeled it for us. The CTAs at this point would only become sellers at 60 what did I say, 86? in the SPX. And from a vol control universe, right now it seems like in order to get any selling from vol control, you would need to start seeing some realized volatility days exceeding 1.5%. That might get reduced a little bit, I think, as we get through this week. I think that this is the 3-month look back this week is rolling off some pretty big days that were like 2%-ish days. Um, so that might get reduced soon, but I think that's where we're at right now. So it just comes from the data. All right. Looks like I got through everybody's questions. Crazy, crazy day today. I hope everybody navigated it well and safely and made money. Have a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow.